How did we get here? Well, if you've seen our first video in this series, then you'll know that the history of the BBC stretches all the way back to the early days of radio in the early part of the 20th century. We talked about how it began with a royal charter in 1927, the iconic voice of its first Director General, John Reith, and some of the early pioneers of radio who helped to shape its sound. But the BB didn't rest on its laurels. It quickly expanded into television and embraced new technologies as they came along. So let's see how the BBC went from radio to the big screen and beyond. September 1967, Radio 1 goes live. Created by the BBC in 1964, Radio 1 was a brand new station aimed at a younger audience. And unlike Radio 2 and Radio 3, which launched alongside it, would have a dedicated pop music format. It would also be the first BBC radio station to broadcast in stereo. The first ever disc jockey to spin records on air was Tony Blackburn, and one of his first ever signings was a young producer called John Peel. After many years in radio, he moved across to TV, presenting the likes of Top of the Pops and later hosting his own chat show. He sadly died in 1999, January 1970, the Open University goes on air. In 1969, the UK's Open University opened its doors to the world with a vision to allow access to higher education for anyone and everyone. But how to teach people at home without the internet or social media? Well, enter the wireless. The OU became the first British university to offer distance learning via television. At its peak in the late 70s and early 80s, over 25% of all students studying 4 degrees were doing so externally. Its influence can still be felt today. The OU continues to innovate in the online learning space, harnessing the power of the World Wide Web and streaming services. September 1974. CEEFAA step toward the digital world. As the 1970s drew on, the BBC started to develop a system to provide text-based subtitling for viewers who were deaf or hard of hearing. This innovation quickly evolved into something more, allowing users to read news updates, sports scores and weather reports simply by tuning their TV sets to a new teletext page. Now a staple of 1980s British television, CEEFAX never really had any impact on younger viewers. To them, it was just a bit boring. But for those in their 30s, 40s, and beyond, it was revolutionary, a glimpse of things to come. But they would have to wait a little while longer. January 1979, Life on Earth. The nation is hooked. Sir David Attenborough is synonymous with nature docs. But did you know that it was Life on Earth, not Blue Planet? That was the first landmark series from the Natural History Unit to make the top 10 ratings. This groundbreaking series, narrated by Attenborough, was a game-changer for the BBC. It captivated audiences with its stunning cinematography and showcased the beauty and diversity of life on our planet. In an era before social media, it ignited a passion for wildlife and conservation that continues to inspire generations. Life on Earth was a testament to the power of nature docs and the enduring legacy of Sir David Attenborough. July 1981, the wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer. If you're old enough to remember, you probably don't need reminding about the wedding of the century. When Prince Charles married Lady Diana Spencer in 1981, the world was watching. An estimated 27.2 million viewers tuned in to watch the nuptials on the BBC, with millions more around the globe glued to their screens. It was a defining moment in recent history and a celebration of love that captured the hearts of people everywhere. Now, that's a wedding and a ratings hit. January 1982, the BBC microcomputer is launched. The BBC Micro was launched in January 1982. It may not have been the first home computer, but it was certainly one of the most influential. Designed to be affordable and accessible for schools and homes, the BBC Micro quickly gained popularity among educators and hobbyists alike. Its user-friendly interface and educational software made it an ideal tool for teaching computer science in classrooms, while its affordability allowed individuals to explore the world of computing in the comfort of their own homes. The BBC Micro played a pivotal role in shaping the future of technology and inspiring a new generation of programmers. July 1985, Live Aid. A new global campaign is born. On July 13, 1985, Live Aid, a global campaign to raise funds for famine relief in Ethiopia, made history. Taking place simultaneously in Philadelphia and London, the concert featured some of the biggest names in music at the time, including Queen, David Bowie, Elton John. September 1995, DAB gets the green light. Digital Audio Broadcasting, or DAB, was launched in the UK in 1992, promising listeners improved sound quality and more choice. After a rocky start, DAB radio really took off in the mid-90s, boosted by government support and the launch of digital radio stations like Absolute Radio and the digital stations of BBC Radio 1 Extra 5 Live and Classic FM. By the end of the decade, 10% of all UK radio listeners were listening to DAB, and this figure has continued to grow year on year thanks to the wider availability of the Internet and Wi-Fi-enabled devices, meaning that there are now over 250 digital radio stations available nationwide. September 1998, the first BBC digital TV channel. BBC launched its first digital-only TV channel in September 1998. Not surprisingly, it was called BBI, or simply BBC.TV at first. It later became known as BBC Knowledge, and was eventually rebranded as BBC4 in 2002. BBC4 was only available to digital terrestrial viewers and viewers of satellite and cable TV services. However, it was added to the BBC's main SD channel in 2006. In 2009, it was made available to Freeview viewers. Today, it is available in over 8 million homes and is one of the most popular channels in the UK. July 2007, BBC iPlayer. See what you want, when you want. The BBC launched its first ever video-on-demand service back in 2007. Now called BBC iPlayer, the service initially offered a limited range of shows that had been aired on BBC TV channels, but this soon expanded to include original programming. iPlayer quickly became a huge success, allowing viewers to watch their favorite shows online at their own leisure. It revolutionized the way people consumed television and paved the way for the future of streaming services. March 2008, BBC Arabic and BBC Persian Television. A new way forward. In March 2008, BBC Arabic and BBC Persian Television were launched in response to the increasing demand for uncensored news and information in these regions. These channels provided a platform for open and honest discussions on important issues affecting the Middle East and beyond. They quickly gained popularity among viewers who appreciated the BBC's commitment to unbiased reporting. Despite facing challenges such as censorship and technical difficulties, BBC Arabic and BBC Persian Television continue to provide a valuable service, fostering dialogue and understanding between cultures. November 2008, Red Button, launched at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Red Button extended television viewing options for those watching through the connected services on their TV sets. Originally, the interactive Red Button service provided subtitles and sign language interpretation, but has since expanded to offer a variety of additional services. These include multilingual commentary, news updates, sports scores, weather reports, and more. The Red Button service has become an integral part of the viewing experience for many, enhancing their access to information and entertainment. July 2011, 3D tennis. Wimbledon sees another first. Wimbledon has always been at the forefront of broadcasting innovation, and in 2011, it pushed the boundaries once again by offering 3D coverage of the tournament. Viewers could experience the thrill of the game like never before, feeling as though they were right there on the court. Despite initial skepticism, 3D coverage became a popular addition to Wimbledon's broadcast lineup, attracting a significant number of viewers. August 2012, London 2012. The Digital Olympics, London 2012, was a historic moment for the city and the United Kingdom as a whole. The Olympic Games brought the world together to celebrate the best of British culture, sport, and innovation, and the Games were watched by a record 1 billion people worldwide. For the first time, the opening and closing ceremonies were streamed online, allowing people around the globe to join in the festivities. Social media was also a big part of the Games, with the official hashtag London 2012 becoming a trending topic worldwide. October 2012, audio enters another dimension. In October 2012, BBC Radio 1 made history by launching the first ever station in the world to exclusively broadcast in Dolby Atmos. Listeners could experience music and radio in a whole new way, with sound that was richer, more detailed, and more immersive than ever before. This marked a significant milestone in the world of audio broadcasting, opening the door for other stations to follow suit and provide their audiences with an enhanced listening experience. And that brings us up to date with the history of the BBC. What do you think? Do you remember any of these moments? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more great videos.